Will I be able to get there on time without taking any public transportation? Today I'm in Berlin and I'm gonna meet a friend who lives in the southern part of Berlin. I myself live in the north, and instead of taking the train, which would make my life easier because it would take me around 30 minutes to get there, I will walk. I will be starting my walk where I live, which is in an area of the city called Wedding, and then I will walk to the southeast of Berlin, which is called Schöneberg. According to Google Maps, it would take me around 2 hours and 15 minutes. This, of course, is if I don't have to record or stop. So I will be calculating that it will take me around 4 hours to get there. The idea, of course, is to spend as little money as possible. I've never done this in Germany, so I don't know how people will react. I already ate, and I'm bringing some snacks. Culture here is different than in other countries. People tend to be more careful with their public image. I have 1 liter of water, some nut mix that I created and almost burned. There's some laws regulating those things. And 2 peaches or something. So we'll see if they react or not. That would be interesting. The weather is cloudy. It's about 20 degrees Celsius. So I'm wearing like shorts, and I decided to wear sandals. That's basically the challenge. One time I already tried to do this route, and the sun was pretty tough last year, so I couldn't finish the route. And that's a question. Will I be able to get there on time without taking any public transportation? So this is a public building just around the corner from my place. Very nice building. And there's this park, which is also very nice. Sometimes it can be a little bit dirty. Well, not the central part of the park, but definitely its surroundings. You could find very nasty stuff around here. We call this place the rat place. It's where we take our dog for a walk. And yeah, I mean, she loves it. She's always trying to hunt some rats. She has never been successful. And today it's pretty clean. I mean, I suppose they clean it. They even cut the grass. It's kind of windy, not too cold. I hope it doesn't rain. That would be also a nice adventure. Damn, we made a wrong decision. Now there's a lot of street. There's a huge avenue. Well, this is part of the experience. So this is a part of Berlin that if you're not from Berlin, or if you don't live in Berlin, chances are you're not gonna see. It's very diverse, but it's not like the place where people go to party and stuff like that, or cafes and all these things. It's more local. It's a good mix of atheists, Christians, and Muslims. So now I have to make a decision. Yeah, I don't know which route I will take. I'll just take the Google route. We'll see. One of the things that I think it's interesting to show you is how the city changes. How the people who live in a specific place change. The streets, the restaurants, the cafes, the vibe, the amount of people, and all these things. So I could take a left here and walk along the canal. That might be more interesting. We'll see. I mean, there's different parts that I wanted to show, but I'm just deciding on the fly. That's the interesting part. So this is one of the things I love about this city, about Berlin. It's pretty green. There's a lot of places where you have access to water. So if you have a canoe or a kayak or something, you can just come here and enjoy the water. And this corner, it's pretty interesting if you're into urban art, street art, stuff like that. So look at this place. So yeah, we like to take our dog here, but sometimes she refuses to walk, so it's complicated. Some people don't like Berlin because it's full of graffitis, and in some places it can be very dirty, and that is true. But there's also some beauty in the graffitis, I think. Not in the dirt. That's a problem that should be solved somehow. Education is probably the most important thing. So you can already start seeing how things start to change. There's some very modern houses here. They have their own garden in front of the canal. Must be expensive. So in Germany, it is required for cars to stop there. I would say in most parts of Germany, people will do that automatically, not necessarily in Berlin, not necessarily in this area, but I mean, that's the idea. As you may know, I'm a new YouTuber, so I'm starting this channel. I want to travel as much as possible, but of course, traveling is also a matter of money. So if you don't have the money, you cannot travel. So I'm deciding to come up with different things that I can do in Berlin, because for many people, this is interesting. I mean, the first time I came to Berlin, I thought this was so interesting, and I still do, but you get used to it. And as the channel grows, I will probably be able to do more exciting things. Right now, I'm trying to fly to the closest and cheapest places, which is also a nice adventure, nice challenge, and coming up with ideas to do here in Germany. For example, today, instead of taking public transportation, I'm walking for 4 hours. So let's see. So bikes are something that you see a lot of here. That's a part of the culture. That's one of the things I love here. Most people, when they think about Berlin, they think about either the historical part, you know, the Berlin Wall, the Brandenburg Gate, Checkpoint Charlie. It's a classic for first-time tourists here. The Jewish Museum, and all stuff related to war and history. This is a rule-based country. There is rules for basically everything you can imagine. There's rules for the park. If you have never been to Germany, this is interesting. They separate glass in 3 colors: green, white, brown. If you have glass, you have to bring it here. You cannot put it in your trash can, which is annoying, but also great for the recycling industry. So the other side of the tourists that come to Berlin when they're traveling, not for other reasons, is the one that come here for the party scene. Berlin is the capital of techno. If you're interested in electronic music, maybe one day I'll do a video about it, because, oh, a very small dog. In contrast to rock, hip hop and all these things, it's a type of music that doesn't come from the streets. So they come here for the party. Techno, there's a lot of clubs, legendary clubs that I have never visited. I'm not into that type of stuff, but I've heard they're great. If you like that, they're supposed to be great and very difficult to get in, I've heard. That is something that would annoy me. And I've heard that the party here starts also pretty late. So maybe people go to these places around 3 a.m., which would be hell for me. So if you don't know anything about Germany, Germans love the sun because the sun is a scarce resource here. I mean, it's summer and look at the sky, pretty cloudy. So whenever there is sun outside, Germans will go out and enjoy it. We're approaching the part of the city called Mitte, which is more or less what most people would think is the center of the city. And to some degree, it is. This part, it's also pretty fancy. A lot of, as they would call themselves, expats live here, not just from the US, but from many different countries. You can see how the style in clothing changes, the activities that they do. And we're going through this building. Looks strange, but this is the way. Because you're thinking that you're entering a private space, but it's not. This is considered a wealthy area. Now the sun is coming out, there's some clouds there, but my impression is that many of the people who live here work in the IT business. Residential buildings, playgrounds in Germany, they're very different than basically every place I've been in my life. Sometimes they would use very simple materials, wood. Germans in general don't like plastic. I mean, maybe not in general, but it is part of the culture to reject plastic in most of its forms, at least in theory. As you can see, this area doesn't feel very populated. I'm trying to avoid that part at this point. I'm gonna walk next to a huge governmental building. I call it the German Pentagon. I don't know if it's like that, but I think they do focus on national security. So this is the building. You can just see like a fraction of it. It is enormous. It's a full block of buildings. As you may or may not know, the Pentagon is the largest public building in the world. The second one, I think it's the Parliament in Bucharest. Go check my video in Bucharest and look how people dress here. And this is a completely different way of living, working, and all these things. Look at that. It's a palm made out of metal, very inviting. This building is brutal. This is a pretty nice walk. There's nice benches here. You can sit, chill. As we get closer to the city center, you'll start to see way more people, and in particular in this area, people wearing nice clothes. Of course, not all of them, but a lot of them. So there are some benches there. I might take a seat and eat a fruit. This fruit is pretty nice. I think it's called nectarine. When my girlfriend bought them, I thought like, oh man, why didn't you buy the normal peaches? But they are as soft as peaches. Just the outside part is more like an apple. It's a nice combo. I would like to eat the second peach, but I have to be careful. I don't have a lot of food. Of course I could buy something, but as you know, I'm trying to save money, because the more money I save, the more I get to travel. Many people spend money, as we would say in Spanish, gastos hormiga, because they're small and they seem so insignificant, but they're very important. Together they create a full system of expenses. So they buy a coffee here and there. In any case, yeah, those expenses can consume all your income. So as you may or may not know, Berlin was divided in two after the World War, basically. And I live in the west part of Berlin. Most of the route until this point has been in the west part of Berlin. Right now, as you can see, I'm in the east part, and I'm gonna go somewhere down here. That will be the west part of the city, and there are many differences that you still can see if you pay attention. If not, it's difficult to see. Well, I'm approaching I would say the commercial part of the city center. There will be more fancy buildings and all these things. I've been walking for like 30 minutes and it still says that I still have 2 hours and 26 minutes, which is interesting because when I left my place, it told me it was 2 hours and 15 minutes, but I took another route. So we'll see. Will I be able to get there without ever taking the train? Now you'll see more people. We're approaching the main station. This is the Invalidenpark. The contrasts of buildings, old buildings, probably expensive to live there too today, versus this type of structure, which is way more modern. It's probably not a residential building. So this part of the city is one of the most touristy parts of Berlin. So if you come here and you remember what I said about the two types of tourists that come to Berlin, this would belong to the first group. People who come here to see buildings, culture and history. We'll see here the tram, public transportation, which is also an interesting topic in Berlin. Most of the tram network, it's in the east part of Berlin, the former Soviet section. And in the west part you have more buses. And of course the metro, it's everywhere. So I'm afraid of caterpillars. There has been like a caterpillar plague here in Berlin called the Eichenprozessionsspinne, caterpillar with hairs that are not good for your health. So there's many trees, not necessarily in this area, that are affected, oaks, and I hope I don't have to walk, but there's many of them. Oh, there's a toilet here. Oh, these are pretty nice public toilets, so I'm gonna use them. Very nice, for free. So they even have water here. Very nice. I never waste these opportunities. So as you can see, there's always some greenery here in Berlin. As I mentioned, it's very green. It's starting to get more populated, more people on the street, more tourists, more modern buildings, fancier clothes, and maybe even more stress. Who knows? Oh man, there's some people that are having some problems. So it's starting to rain. That's unfortunate, but as I said, that's also part of the adventure. We'll see for how long it rains. Hopefully not for that long. Otherwise this could be a very disappointing ending. It's a pretty busy street. We're approaching one of the most important streets in central Berlin. As you can see, the streets are getting narrower as we approach the center. There's this ticket in Germany called the Germany ticket, which is around 60 euros ticket that allows you to take public transportation everywhere. And it's a great thing if you want to explore this country. You could basically cross it just paying 60 euros. It would take you a lot of time, but it's doable. So this is the Humboldt University, one of the buildings, one of the most important universities in Berlin, along with the TU, Technische Universität, or Technical University. So I'm doing pretty well recording outside in front of people. The less you care, the better. So we have here Lidl supermarket. You have that in Poland too. It's a German supermarket. You have these buildings with horrible balconies. I mean, there was a time where they thought this was nice, but now it looks horrible. Maybe it's some sort of postmodern approach to architecture. Absolutely horrible. Small park. We also have here you can see it's getting more populated, more people, more traffic, more touristy. That's a tourist bus. Those are not part of public transportation. It's getting pretty loud in here. That was the S-Bahn, one of the two metro systems they have here in Germany. And this is one of the iconic structures in Berlin, the TV tower in Alexanderplatz, in the Plaza of Alexander. The contrast with this building. If you're interested in architecture, you might have seen on social media that many people are disgusted by modern architecture. In many cases, I'm one of them, but not always. I mean, yeah, old buildings are nice, but we cannot build the same again. That time has passed. We have to find new ways. They don't have to be horrible, that's for sure. So at the back, that building, ARD, one of the two public TV and radio providers. Every citizen in Germany has to pay around 19 euros per month. That's a tax for TV and radio. So we're approaching a very nice part of the city. Look at that. That's the Reichstag, where the parliament sits in Germany. You can see that the lower structure, it's an old building, while the upper part, it's a crystal dome, which is open to the public. You can walk around it, and if I remember correctly, the idea is to represent transparency and democracy. I have 2 hours and 15 minutes to get where I want to go. And to be honest, I don't think I will make it on time without public transportation. Well, it's okay. We'll see. You can see a lot of tourists here, nicer clothes, a lot of buildings, very densely built, all types of people doing all types of things, foreigners, locals, Berliners, Germans, people from all around the world. I'm approaching the Brandenburg Gate. I'm not going to focus on that part here. My channel is usually not about the destination, but about the way. How do you get to your destination? That is what interests me most. Some channels show you the top 10 attractions of a particular city, or some people go to very unique places in the world, very difficult to reach. Maybe they are going to show you the people who live there in some remote part of Mexico or the continent of Africa or Asia. But they don't show you how to get there or how they got there. That's the part I'm interested in most. Not necessarily the destination, but the way to get there. And this is what my channel is about. How to get where you want to be. So this is the back part of the parliament. I don't know if I have time to go to the front, probably not. So you'll have to wait for another video where I talk about this specific part of the city. How am I doing? 2 more hours if I don't stop. So this is one of the most important parks in the city. I'm getting hungry. I can tell you now with a relatively large degree of certainty that I'm not going to be able to make my destination within my time constraints. That's a shame, but it's part of the experience. So this is the Brandenburg Gate, the back part. So there's a place to sit there. I'm gonna go there, sit, have my second fruit and some nuts. Nice bench, nice view, nice. So I'm pretty thirsty. I'm already sweating. I always carry some napkins or paper towels. You can never have enough of them. Doing good with water. I've been walking for around 2 hours. It's 2 p.m. Oh man. Oh, one does get tired. Oh yeah, I thought I had forgotten my nuts. That would have been nuts, wouldn't it? Ooh, my fruit is very soft. Didn't break. I protected it, but it's soft. This can be pretty juicy, so you have to be careful when you eat them. Otherwise, you'll make a mess. Juicy when they are ripe. Tastes like summer. Very soft on the inside, small resistance on the outside. Very sweet, very yellow. Great hand fruit. It's always a good idea when you're doing stuff like this to have some water to clean your hands. You definitely don't want sticky hands. It's getting chilly. At this point, I would also like to thank everybody who has been watching the channel, who has subscribed. If you haven't done so, please consider doing it. As you know, it helps a lot the algorithm. And the more people who join this channel, this adventure, the more places I will be able to show you. And I'm very thankful for every one of you. Like the video, subscribe, and share this with your grandma. I'm behind the Brandenburger Tor. That means I'm in West Berlin. So from this point on, I will stay in West Berlin. Let's see if you see some differences or not. Maybe enough time has passed, and if you don't know and if you don't pay close attention, it would be pretty difficult to notice those things. You have to be very aware of everything. So I'll eat my nuts and then I'll continue. I recently discovered that walnuts taste very good if you roast them a little bit. I also have some mandeln. I don't remember the name in English. Almendras, almonds. Sunseed flowers. I roasted all of them together. They're a little bit burned. I added a tiny bit of oil, some salt, and they taste great, even with the slight burn taste. I shouldn't finish the whole bag. I need to save some for later. You have to be very, how do you say, efficient with your water and food and energy. Otherwise, you spend too much money. So if I don't stop, it will take me 1 hour and 56 minutes. That's just enough time to reach my destination. Otherwise, I will just take the train and call it an adventure. This is a huge park in the center of Berlin. So I'll cross the one part of the park. So another good example of greenery in Berlin. What do we have here? Sculpture of a lion, a lioness, young lions. I'm starting to get tired and hungry. My knees hurt a little bit. I've been doing some calisthenics routine. I have to jump a lot and hang out of my bar. I have a bar where I can do pull-ups and all these types of things. I've been biking more than usual. Not a lot, but more than usual. And I'm already 39 years old, so I start feeling my body. This park is beautiful in winter when it snows, because of course everything is completely covered in white snow, sometimes some yellow snow too. But if you don't need it, it's not a problem. You have there some rocks, I don't know, maybe some sort of sculpture, an American or Canadian maybe.
But I also would feel like I would have so much more like support.
Oh, there's a guy with a selfie stick. I remember the first time those things popped up, everybody thought they were ridiculous. And probably most people still think that I'm leaving the park, which is huge, as I mentioned, and I'm approaching the famous Berlin Philharmonic concert hall. And as you can see, this part of the city is very different. It feels more urban. We're in the west. We're in West Berlin. Deutsche Bahn. We're approaching a building called Sony Center. I mean, this is, look, this is part of the Sony Center. There's some offices there, some stores, some restaurants. You don't have to go there. It doesn't make any sense. Unless you're around here, you go in, you see it, you go. We're very close to a place called Potsdamer Platz, which is also like an important part of Berlin, some sort of hub. There's trains, buses, a lot of things happening. But as you can see, this is less livable. To some degree, this feels more like a downtown USA, you know? Like huge buildings, huge streets. I might be able to show you the front part of the Berlin Philharmonic. And you might think it's not as impressive as you thought it could be. It's a very old building, I think from the 70s. It doesn't look like the Hamburg Philharmonic, which is a very modern, new building, or the Sydney Opera House. This is not an opera house, this is a concert hall, and it's iconic. It doesn't matter if all the other buildings are more beautiful in your eyes. I mean, that depends on you. But this is one of the best orchestras in the world, if not the best one. There's another building in the same type of style. Staatsbibliothek. Berlin State Library. So, the sun is coming out. It makes the walk somehow more enjoyable, but also more tiring. But it's not that warm. So there's also a pretty interesting museum around here. Modern Art Museum. This is it. The Neue Nationalgalerie. Not just the building is incredible, but what you see inside can be incredible too. Everything looks better under the sun. The colors, so vibrant. The air quality feels okay. Let's see if it's true. Buena. It's not always the case here. Basically, I just have to walk straight ahead to my destination. almost 7 kilometers. So if you pay close attention, you'll see that the architecture, the buildings, the way the streets are built look very different than where we were before. It's a different style. This was the part that was occupied by the American, the French, and the British. Look at the size of the sidewalk. It's huge. You have there to the left the bike lane, have a huge sidewalk for pedestrians, and then the buildings. Very comfortable to walk here. You can see the different styles. People are wearing different things, and to some degree the buildings look more eclectic. You have different styles in small amount of space. So last year when I tried to walk this route, I think I stopped in the next 1 or 2 kilometers. It was way warmer. I was dying and I didn't have water. I was so hungry. Now it's okay. When my mom has visited Berlin, she has asked about the older people, because there's some parts of Berlin where you don't see them, or where you don't see them as often as in other countries or in other parts of the city. And we're approaching a part where the age average feels older. It's a more fancy part of the city. Old or older money. It's also pretty diverse, but in another way. Where I live is pretty diverse, but you can notice that the income is way lower than here. And here it could be very diverse with high income restaurants and that horrible ad. And I actually was heading to the wrong place, which is farther than the actual place that I want to go to. So it will take me now about 40 minutes to get there. And that's great because it's 3 p.m., almost 3 p.m. I still have enough time. So this neighborhood is known or pretty famous to some degree because David Bowie lived here when he lived in Berlin. And it's also known to be where a good amount of the gay population, male gay population, I think, lives. So you can see the buildings have this like postmodern look to them. I think, again, this is my impression. I'm not using facts because that's what I like to do first, is to experience and then see if the facts match my expectation or my experience or my observations. But I think this part developed completely different in terms of architecture, urban planning, and all these things when the Allies overtook the city. So basically I just have to walk straight ahead for 32 more minutes. So there's a lot of cafes here. I would love to use the bathroom, but they will probably charge me and I don't have any cash. Eurogida. It's a Turkish supermarket. Very nice fruit selection. Very nice indeed. Africa shop, hair salons. So I've been walking for 3 hours. And if you paid attention, the urban picture has changed a lot, many times throughout the video. Look at those buildings. Pretty densely populated. Look at the balconies, they all have these antennas. I wonder why, what's the purpose? I mean, there's internet today. Why do you need an antenna? So luckily I still have some time. I have to be there in 1 hour and 3 minutes. These are the trash cans here in Berlin. That's my appointment with my friend. They are very common. And according to Google Maps, I will be there in 27 minutes. Some people don't use them, you know? I wonder why. So I still have time to sit on a bench, drink some water, and chill for a moment. I will never understand people. Look at this place. It's not something that I would have expected. Oh, this is nice. I like these things, I don't know why. But it looks kind of fucked up. Then you have this. Huge contrasts. Maybe I'll find a bench here Oh, Botanical Garden. This is my type of place. This is where I thrive. Oh, this is amazing. It's full of graffiti. I know. Some people like it, some people hate it. And I mean, doing graffiti here can be considered very disrespectful, I understand. But to some degree, also looks good. Feels real. People are not happy with something. This is the way they show it. Maybe they just lack education or common sense. That could be true too. But I mean, some people are not happy with some stuff and they express it here. You may or may not share their opinion, but this is where you can come and express yourself. The sun is changing again. It's getting cloudier. The temperature is still pretty comfortable. Very nice park, botanical garden. Look at that tree, the color, very dark. So there is a bench with back support, and there is a bench without back support. Unless I don't have the option, I will always go for the back support. Nothing better than having your back supported. Ah, nice. I'm out of snacks, almost out of water. It's not the end of the world. I've been very good with the efficiency of my water consumption. So I still have 35 minutes to get to my destination. I'm about 26 minutes away. It's raining a little bit. It's not too much. As they would say in Germany, you are not made of sugar. So shouldn't be a problem. Not for me, but for the camera it might be. And let's start this walk again. I still have some energy left. How much? I don't know, but there's still some energy in the tank. Back on the same route. Have some kumpir, börek, chiliki. In this side of Berlin, there's way more buses because you don't have the tram. I mean, there's some parts with tram, but most of the west part of Berlin doesn't have a tram. Waiting to cross the street feels always like a waste of time. You're just standing. Nothing is happening but time. And you feel that you're basically losing it. The most precious thing we have, and I'm losing it waiting to cross the street. Not great. You can also see here that the sidewalk, this is pretty common all over Berlin at least. Different types of stones to delineate different parts of the sidewalk. Oh, what an interesting building. What is that? I wonder. It's also postmodern. It looks kind of interesting. It's a nice street. You can see this is becoming wealthier again. There's a lot of Turkish restaurants. There's another Eurogida. Oh no, this is called Tugragida. Also a lot of fruit. The selection here doesn't look as great as in the other supermarket, but it's also not that bad. Another Turkish supermarket looks pretty big. Özgida. I've never seen this before. The best area to live is where you have a lot of foreign influence, but also a lot of German influence. So you have everything. You can decide where you want to go, what you want to eat. And some areas are way too German or way too Turkish. Just depends. So in Schöneberg has a very, in my opinion, well-balanced combination. Kleiderklinik, Woolworth. Oh, you have all these cheap products. Sunglasses, things for the pool, shoes, €3 t-shirts. And oh, this place, they told me once they have the best donuts. They were fine. The place looks better than what it is, in my opinion. Nice architecture. You can find those buildings here in Schöneberg. Beautiful. I would love to live in one of those. Bunta Panda, a Chinese food probably. Turkish supermarket, bakery, Biomarkt, this strange building. Strange looking building. I'm about to reach my destination. I'm on time. I still have 19 minutes. Sometimes it's free, sometimes it's not. And according to Google Maps, I don't think this bathroom has the free option. I'm 11 minutes away, so I might have to pay. So basically, I calculated perfectly. I can pay with card unless something unexpected happens right now. If it works, because it sometimes doesn't, I would have reached my goal. 50 cents. If you're still here, should open the door. Thank you very much. I appreciate you spending this time with me. Oh, very nice. Very nice. I don't take it for granted. And luckily, there's a bathroom there.
Herzlich willkommen auf der Berliner Toilette.
Welcome to the Berlin toilet.
Nice music. Hello friends, don't mind me. So I have the opportunity to refresh myself, which is always great. Some water. Oh, wash my face. I love washing my face. At least 3 times. Oh, great. Now I look presentable. Whew. Nice. Beautiful music. So I'm 9 minutes away and I still have 14 minutes to be there. I'm very happy that I was able to calculate this as precise as I did. It feels like an achievement. I've been walking for about 4 hours and I'm ready to eat. I will eat in a Sudanese place. If you haven't done it, please do yourself a favor and do it. I will order something which is like falafel, halloumi, some sort of fried vegetables like potatoes, carrots, stuff like that. And the thing is that they have this in peanut sauce, so it's a great combination. I think I deserve it. Que viva España! That's what Spanish people would say after the World Cup final. Congratulations to Spain. I'm sorry, Argentina. People take soccer very personally. I don't even care about soccer really. I do watch the World Cup, but that's it. And I watch it with passion. I watch all the games that I can, even if they're late at night. It's just a sport, you know? I mean, that's it. That's it. I basically just have to walk 350 meters and I'll be there. So I love this neighborhood. Really nice. It's not too loud, not too quiet. It is comparatively clean. There's basically almost no trash. Nice buildings, good restaurants, but the location in the city, unfortunately, not very convenient for me at this time. I definitely feel the change in temperature. I'm glad I brought my jacket. And if you were asking yourself, is he gonna walk back? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not crazy. I'm gonna take the train. That's it. Oh, nice. It was very hot in here in Germany like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Some people started posting on internet that you should cover your windows with aluminum paper or whatever you call it, with foil. And some people did it. They broke their windows because they did it on the inside. And if you're gonna do it, you have to do it on the outside. I won't explain the physics, but that's how you are supposed to do it. I'm about to reach my destination. It is basically there on the opposite corner. I think my friend is already waiting for me. And it's exciting. I haven't seen her in a while. This should be pretty nice. So she won't be part of the video. She's very shy. I have known her for probably like 13 years. One of my oldest German friends. So I made it with 5 minutes to spare, or 3 depending, and see you later.